sometimes I'm talking to people about language learning and they ask, okay, what tools do you use for language learning? And it's pretty simple. It's Google Translate and then going to websites where people have written out lists of vocabulary or where someone is explaining grammar in a different language, and I'll go read that stuff. And those are the only real tools that I use, but that has a big limitation. I mean, one, sometimes if you go to like Google Translate, you'll type in a word and sometimes it's just totally wrong. Like for example, I'm just messing around right now with Google Translate in Chinese, and sometimes the words are just totally wrong. And I know from talking with people who are actually, let's say, from Hong Kong or from Beijing, they just know, oh, that's terribly wrong. So sometimes these tools are not that great. And really, the most important tool, it's not really a tool, is just talking to the people who are actually from there. There's two things. First, the people who are actually from another country and they actually speak the language every day, they instantly know, what people actually say versus maybe something that was said 100 years ago that Google thinks is still normal, but it's really not. And the other thing too is that when you actually speak to real people, you learn phrases that people actually use on a daily basis. So rather than learning 500 verbs, you learn the 5 verbs that help you get through 90% of simple conversations. But also your brain really locks in, what you say when you use it for communication. And I don't know, but I think part of it is that when you actually use something to communicate with someone, your brain is in the active speaking language state, but also your brain recognizes, oh, this is important for communicating with other people. And that really locks in, your brain just knows, oh, this is important. This isn't just some random information. This is information I can use to communicate with other humans. So, you can use some tools online. Just go to websites. There's a lot of, learn this language websites. And then Google Translate is good for, single words and for learning grammar. And Google Translate is actually really nice because they have the audio feature as well, so you can hear some words, which is, even if it's not perfect, it helps lock that in. It's great. But really, the big thing you need to focus on is talking to people who speak the language. You learn it a lot faster. You lock it in, and don't worry about it being awkward. People actually like helping you learn their language because they know it very well, so it's very easy for them to teach you. And it's also just really fun. You make new friends, and people are excited when you want to learn their language and when they can actually help you do that. So yeah, use some tools, learn online, of course. It's easier because maybe you won't always have a Chinese person sitting next to you. But make sure you're talking to people from the country, and really, like, if you hear someone speaking a different language, it's okay to even like approach someone you don't know and say, hey, I'm trying to learn this language. Can you help me out, or can you help me with a few phrases? It's really easy for them. It's not annoying, and then that way you'll learn it and you'll lock it in much faster. So for language learning, that's a tip for you guys for today.